The heating broke in my apartment. It was the middle of winter, and I had absolutely no idea how to explain the problem to my landlord in English. I just kept saying, "It's broken! It's broken!"
That vague, panicked feeling is exactly why this episode exists. Today, we fix it completely.
We are going to teach you everything you need to rent an apartment in English, from viewing a property to reporting a problem like a pro.
By the end of this episode, you will never freeze up when talking to a landlord again.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I am here with Emma, and today we are going to talk about renting an apartment in English.
Hello, everyone. I am very happy to be here today. Let's start our conversation.
Emma, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, thank you, Daniel. Actually, I am in the process of looking for a new apartment right now.
Oh, really? How is the search going?
It is exhausting. Viewings, phone calls with landlords, reading contracts. It is a lot.
That is such a stressful process, even in your own language. Doing it in a second language makes it even harder.
Completely. There is so much specific vocabulary. Deposits, leases, utilities, words you rarely use anywhere else.
Which makes today's topic incredibly useful and perfectly timed for you.
Yes, I will be using this lesson literally this week.
This is one of those topics that genuinely changes someone's daily life if they get it right.
Absolutely. And Daniel's heating disaster story is coming up later.
A very cold, very confusing story. Stay with us.
So here is what we have for you today.
By the end of this episode, you will know how to talk to a landlord, understand a lease agreement, ask the right questions during a viewing, and report a problem clearly.
We will teach you the essential vocabulary and phrases for every stage of renting, from your first phone call to moving in.
And Daniel will finally tell us the full heating disaster story, what he said and what he should have said instead.
So stay with us until the end.
Let's begin.
Emma, let's start at the very beginning. When you are searching for an apartment, what is the first thing you usually do?
I look online first. Then I call or message the landlord or agent to arrange a viewing.
What do you typically say on that first call?
Something like, "Hi, I'm calling about the apartment on Elm Street. Is it still available?"
Simple, direct, effective. What comes next?
If it is available, I ask, "Could I arrange a viewing, please? What times are you available this week?"
Very natural. Now, during the actual viewing, what questions do you think are most important to ask?
Honestly, so many people forget to ask basic but essential things, like, are utilities included in the rent?
That is such an important question. Utilities means electricity, water, gas, sometimes internet.
Right. Some rentals include them in the price, others do not, and the difference can be significant.
What other questions matter during a viewing?
How much is the deposit? A deposit is money you pay up front that is returned when you move out, assuming there is no damage.
And usually people also ask, is the deposit refundable?
Exactly. Also important, what is the notice period? This means how much warning you must give before moving out.
For example, the notice period is 1 month, meaning you must tell the landlord 1 month before you leave.
Very important to understand before signing anything.
What about, is the apartment furnished or unfurnished?
Yes, definitely ask this. Furnished means it comes with furniture already. Unfurnished means empty. You bring your own.
This changes your entire moving plan, so it needs to be clear from the start.
Completely. Now, let's talk about the lease itself. What is a lease exactly?
A lease is the legal contract between you and the landlord. It states the rent, the length of the agreement, and the rules. What should someone look for carefully in a lease? The length of the tenancy, usually 6 months or 1 year, and any rules about pets, guests, or subletting.
Subletting means renting your apartment to someone else temporarily. Many leases do not allow this without permission.
Very important to check, especially if your plans might change.
What phrase would you use if you did not understand part of the lease?
You could say, Could you explain this section, please? I want to make sure I understand it correctly.
Perfectly acceptable, even for native speakers. Legal language is confusing for everyone.
Now, once you have moved in, what happens if something breaks?
This is where many English learners genuinely struggle. Reporting a problem clearly, calmly, and specifically.
What is the mistake people usually make?
Being too vague, saying it's broken without explaining what exactly is happening.
Right. A landlord cannot fix a problem they do not understand.
Exactly. Which brings us perfectly to your heating story, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Actually, before we get to the story, here's something interesting about renting culture.
Oh, tell us.
Did you know that in the UK, most rental agreements are for either 6 or 12 months, called fixed-term tenancies, while in the US, rental terms and rules vary significantly state by state?
Really? So the rules are not the same everywhere?
Not at all. Always ask specifically about local rules rather than assuming they are the same as your home country.
That is such important advice for anyone renting abroad for the first time.
Absolutely. Always ask, never assume. Okay, let's move to our English lesson.
Perfect.
Let's cover the essential vocabulary and phrases for renting an apartment in English.
Let's start with key nouns. Landlord means the person who owns the property and rents it to you.
Tenant means you, the person renting and living there.
Lease or rental agreement is the legal contract between landlord and tenant.
Deposit is the upfront money paid as security, usually returned at the end if there is no damage.
Utilities mean services like electricity, water, gas, and sometimes internet.
Now let's cover phrases for viewing a property. Is it still available? Asking if the apartment can still be rented.
Could I arrange a viewing, please? Asking to see the property in person.
Are utilities included? Asking if the price covers electricity, water, and gas.
What is the notice period? Asking how much warning you need to give before moving out.
Now let's cover phrases for reporting a problem. This is the most important part.
The key is to be specific, not vague. Instead of, it's broken, describe exactly what is happening. For example, the heating is not working. The temperature stays cold no matter what I set it to.
Notice how specific that is. What exactly and what you have already tried.
Another example, there is a leak under the kitchen sink. Water is dripping onto the floor.
Specific location, specific problem. This helps the landlord understand immediately.
A useful phrase to open the conversation is, I wanted to report a problem with the apartment. Clear and direct, without sounding like a complaint or an attack.
And to ask for action, could someone come and take a look at this, please?
Or for urgent issues, this needs urgent attention, as it is affecting my ability to use the kitchen, bathroom.
Now let's cover a useful grammar point. When describing an ongoing problem, we often use present continuous.
For example, water is leaking from the ceiling, or the heating is not working.
This shows the problem is happening right now, which is important information for the landlord.
And when explaining how long the problem has existed, we use present perfect.
For example, the heating has not worked since Monday, or this problem has been happening for a week.
Present continuous for right now, present perfect for how long it has continued. Very useful distinction. Daniel, I want to ask our listener something.
Of course, go ahead.
Everyone, have you ever rented an apartment in an English-speaking country? What was the hardest part?
Write it in the comments below.
Tell us your experience. For example, understanding the lease was the hardest part for me.
We would love to hear your real stories.
And if this episode is useful, please like it and subscribe to our channel.
Now, Daniel, the heating story. Finally!
The cold, confusing story we have all been waiting for.
So this was my second winter renting an apartment abroad. The heating suddenly stopped working in the middle of a very cold week.
Terrible timing.
The worst timing. I called my landlord, and when he asked what was wrong, all I could manage was, "It's broken. It's broken. The heating is broken."
Just repeating the same 3 words?
Repeatedly. He asked follow-up questions, and I genuinely did not have the vocabulary to answer them clearly.
What kind of questions did he ask?
Is it making any noise? Is any part of it working? When did it stop? And I just kept saying, "I don't know. It's just broken."
Very frustrating for both of you.
Extremely frustrating. He eventually sent someone 2 days later, and honestly, it was probably not even urgent to him because I could not explain how bad it actually was.
So the vague description delayed the actual fix?
Completely. And it was freezing in my apartment for 2 extra days because I could not communicate the severity clearly.
What would you say now, knowing what we just taught?
Something like, the heating stopped working completely 2 days ago. It is not turning on at all, even when I adjust the thermostat. It has been below 10 degrees inside since yesterday. Specific, detailed, and it clearly shows urgency. Exactly. That sentence alone would have gotten someone there the same day, not 2 days later.
What is the lesson for our listeners?
Being vague when reporting a problem does not just sound unclear, it can genuinely delay real solutions. Specific details are not extra effort, they are essential.
And landlords cannot read your mind. The more specific you are, the faster things get fixed.
Exactly the lesson 2 very cold days taught me. Well, everyone, what a useful episode today.
We learned key vocabulary: landlord, tenant, lease, deposit, utilities, and phrases for viewings, leases, and reporting problems.
And we learned the most important lesson: be specific when reporting a problem, not vague.
2 cold days taught Daniel that the hard way.
Now, before we go, in our next episode, we are going to talk about something everyone deals with: going to the bank in English.
Oh, such a practical topic. How do you open an account? How do you talk about a lost card or a problem with a payment?
Subscribe now so you do not miss episode 19.
See you there. Today was so useful, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. And thank you, everyone, for listening to episode 18.
Practice the phrases today. Are utilities included? I wanted to report a problem with the apartment. This needs urgent attention.
And remember, always be specific when describing a problem.
And check the heating before winter arrives.
Lesson learned very thoroughly. See you in episode 19, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care and keep learning English every day.
Bye-bye.